What's up? What's up? Welcome back to Lake Show Close Up. I'm your host, Tammy Pettigrew, and I'm excited to be back here again at Crypto.com. It is Friday, time for another game, and we're hoping to keep the momentum from last game and bring it into this game. If you can recall, last game, the Lakers pulled out a win against the Miami Heat after a comeback in the second half, and we hope to see the success continue on to today. Here's what JJ Redick had to say about going into tonight's game.
Hey, JJ. Austin, from a kind of game management standpoint, has had a couple of really good games, like 14 assists, no turnovers last game. I think he had a 10 assists, 0 turnover game, and then he's had some bad games where like you got equal turnovers to assists. Are you noticing something like what he did last game about when he's in command like that, and if that differs from the games where he hasn't had it as much?
Well, I think you have to be willing to live with some turnovers with Austin because he plays at a certain pace, and he's like LeBron, willing to make difficult and daring passes at times, and that's part of what makes those guys great shot creators. So there's not a noticeable difference in terms of, play style from him. There are certain teams, because he is our primary ball handler, there are certain teams that have guys that are disruptive, that, pick them up full court. And I think the benefit of having Max now at times with that lineup, he can initiate some offense and then eventually get the, play back to AR, ball back to AR, ball back to LeBron. So it's really a game-by-game thing depending on the other team's personnel for both LeBron and Austin in terms of, what type of pressure they're getting, and that can obviously lead to some turnovers.
Brooklyn could be a team that's a little harder to scout or prepare for, just the amount of guys and the differences in rotations. What stands out when you look at them, and you figure out who you're expecting to see in the lineup on that given night?
Yeah, I think it starts. It's one of those games that we mentioned this a number of times. It's one of those games where we can start our defensive possessions well and get back and get set and limit them in transition, and then limit their second chance points. They're one of the highest crash rate teams in the league, and got to do a good job of boxing out tonight. We really we want carryover from the other night. I thought our physicality, our cover mentality, all those things that we talk about was as good as we've had all season in the second half. And then defensively for them, they're a heavy switch team. So not getting stalled out by their switches and just getting to the next action and using all of our screening options to try and get behind the defense, I think is going to be important.
Just two questions for you, actually, JJ. First one, I think it's been about 7 games since you guys have made the trade to send D'Lo to Brooklyn. You guys acquired DFS. Obviously, there's been the availability with certain guys been in and out. But just all process-wise, how have you felt about the offense in those 7 games across the last couple weeks?
We've had some really good offensive games. We've had a couple of bad offensive halves. Since the Detroit game, we're 7th in the league in offense. So I feel good about where our offense is at right now.
And then I know you guys focuses tonight on Brooklyn. Forgive me for asking about the following game, but that will be the first game between the Lakers and Clippers in their building since they moved there. You were part of the organization for a few years. How important do you think them having their own spot is just for, I guess, their own culture, their own morale, just to be in their own arena?
Well, it helps with our scheduling. One less tenant, one less thing to worry about. I'm not worried about the Clippers right now.
You mentioned yesterday that you're going to give some look to some 2 big lineups as we move forward. Obviously, getting Jemison is one of the guys in the group. Is there any consideration when doing that to the idea that let's get accustomed to this in case we add personnel through the trade deadline that we get, and that personnel could be another center that we get comfortable playing with the group that we currently have, like running those sets?
No, I don't look at it at all that way at all. I think it's more just about what this team needs to be successful. Certainly want to, try to give AD a break at times, and again, our defense up until second half. Last game was just trending in the wrong direction, and Jackson getting back and being healthy. And I said the other night I thought that was his best game that he's had since he returned from injury. It's been a long time, obviously, since he felt that pop and that juice that he can provide, the activity and all that stuff. So excited to have that, and also excited to have some optionality with Trey and Christian.
JJ, I think pretty early in your tenure here, you said something along the lines that as a player, you were somebody who had to focus more on process than results, that was sort of necessary, maybe it being a shooter or whatever it is. How is this team at process versus results, and negative results dictating process and pushing guys away from process? Where are you guys at kind of in figuring that out?
It's hard. I think it's hard for players in general, not just our team. Miami the other night, for example, our offense and our expected PPS versus their offense and their expected PPS, we should have been winning at halftime. You know what I mean? Players don't want to hear that. So our process was actually pretty good offensively in the first half. You can't. It's hard to get buy-in for that, and I think our team, when it goes back to the connectivity. When our team has remained connected amidst adversity, we've won some games. We've made some tough games recently, even the Houston game, into one possession games where we have a chance to tie or win. I think the process, in terms of embracing that, I would give that like a B for our team. We've got a ways to go, and frankly, for me as a coach, I'm probably a B too. I can live with certain results as long as the competitive spirit is there. I feel good about that, and you can build on that. Sometimes all of us can get a little deflated with results. That happens, and that's human nature.
Thanks, Coach.
As Coach Reddick said, this is one of the most high-pressure teams in the NBA, so they have to do a good job of making sure they block out and don't give them a lot of second chances. The team, he feels, is doing well on offense. They work on processes more than results, so we're hoping to see that process show itself tonight, and for offense to play well, as well as defense to do their job, so that the Lakers can continue on this trend of winning. We'll be back after the game with more insights from coaches, players, and the results of tonight's game. And we're back, and that's another Lakers win, a really great way to close out the week before they head down the street to Intuit Dome against the Clippers. Now, in the presser, it did kind of feel like, from Coach JJ Redick's perspective, that it wasn't exciting. He said the offense did not play great, and really it was Austin Reeves and LeBron James that willed them to the win. Now, Anthony Davis was listed as probable before the game, and last minute he was ruled ineligible to play. His foot, it was sore, and out of abundance of cautiousness, they decided to sit him. Here's more of what JJ Redick had to say about that and more about tonight's game.
JJ, what did you make of Austin's game overall, and especially the fourth quarter, and kind of finding ways to get shots to go in?
Thought both him and LeBron just willed us to win. We weren't very good tonight, and a little bit of that is the nature of their defense and just all the switching, and kind of just took us out of any sort of rhythm offensively. Thought we did a better job in the second half of getting to our follows and not letting the ball stick, and trying to get some slips and some ghosts and all that stuff. And on the other end, I didn't think we were sharp at all defensively in the second half. There's too many lapses, too many non-contests. But a lot of credit to those two guys. I thought Gabe hit some big shots for us. Sub Max back in. with about a minute to go, and he got a big stop at the end. Didn't allow any separation. Got a good contest. So, yeah.
Are you hoping to get AD back for the next game?
My assumption is yes. You know, he went through his pregame and had some soreness in that foot, and out of an abundance of caution, we held him out tonight.
Along those lines, Dorian, is he a guy that you think will be available Sunday night for you, or is that still up in the air?
My assumption is he'll be available Sunday night.
The the basketball is funny sometimes, and things just work out in weird ways. D'Angelo Russell, a player you guys traded away, has the ball with a chance to win the game. Just what does that moment feel like? I mean, does any of the strangeness of that? I know it's a blink, but like.
No, I just was more concerned with Max just being up and not allowing separation. You know, I think the way they, you know, we were ready to fire if we needed to. I think just the way the clock was going and how much, you know, space there was over there, just felt like Max could get the job done on his own.
JJ, what did you think of Trey in his 15 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, he played hard. You know, there's some coverage stuff that he you know, he wasn't very good in, but you know, first day on the job, so we'll be patient with him.
Just in terms of AR's performance, with the context of the recent conversation you told us about that you had with him, trying to come out of that kind of struggles you've been having.
At least it was basketball.
Glad it was.
How important was his ability, his willingness, all of it to play that role for you guys tonight, especially with no AD?
Yeah, we need him to create offense for us, and you know, a lot of it just because of the nature again of their defense wasn't necessarily creating for others tonight. You know, the normal just pocket stuff and getting downhill and getting two to the ball. You know, it was against a switching defense, and I thought we, as a staff, tried to get as much as we could control, meaning ATOs, dead ball situations, getting LeBron the ball obviously, but then getting AR some off ball looks, and you know the two big shots he hit in the fourth were off ball looks. We ran some other stuff, and whether it was shooting a three or just getting into the paint and making some plays there, I thought he was really good at that.
Thanks, Coach.
Now, we did hear from other players like Gabe Vincent and Austin Reeves, who had a career high tonight of 38 points. Check out what they had to say.
Gabe, you know, Brooklyn came in missing some guys, and you know they had a tough game their last game. You've been around the league a long time. Do you expect though that they're going to bring that kind of extra effort and energy tonight, just as professionals? And how did you guys feel like you were able to match it?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you have guys sitting out, it's always somebody else's opportunity, and they're going to be geared up and ready to go. You know, we came into this game wanting to build off of what we finished last game with that second half, and we kind of fell short of that, but it's always great to get a win.
You drew a charge, I think 2 steals, 2 blocks. Just the defensive side of the court. Where's your focus, and how do you feel like that contributed?
I'm just trying to that point of attack, just try to keep my guy from just blowing by or getting into the paint with ease, and just trying to show some resistance, you know, and just be there for my guys when they need my help.
Gabe, a career night for Austin. Just how important was that for you guys, especially offensively, in light of AD not being available?
Yeah, I mean, Austin's been great night in, night out. And it hasn't just been his scoring. It's been his facilitating. It's been his leadership, his voice. Even defensively, he's been good. So Austin's taking a leap. He's been carrying us a lot of load here.
How much of a luxury is that to have a guy, you know, outside of obviously AD and LeBron, who can, you need him to distribute, he can give you that 14 assists the other night. You need him to score, he gives you 38, you know, 2 nights later.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've all known Austin's a really, really good player, and he's been playing at a very high level. So very grateful for him. Appreciate his effort tonight and nights prior, and you know we're going to rely on him as we move forward, I'm sure.
Gabe, you know, you've kind of been a real steadying influence for the second unit, you know, in recent weeks. Just kind of, you know, I guess kind of what's your role kind of been like, and how much of it is you just kind of, you know, finally getting back into game speed, I guess, after the injury stuff you went through last year?
Yeah, I mean, my role, I see it simply as just win games, help us win games. Some nights it might be purely defensive. Some nights I might be on the ball some more. Some nights I might be spotting up. But whatever the task is, I'm out there to help this ball club win games. So grateful to be healthy, grateful to be on the court, and just take it one game at a time. Appreciate y'all.
Austin, there are nights when things are clicking and the ball's popping, and I don't want to say easy, but it feels and looks smooth. Tonight, I think it was, JJ said that you and LeBron in the fourth just kind of had to will this to a win. What did it feel like out there? And I guess, yeah, just like, can you describe the place you went to early through the mid fourth quarter?
Yeah, I mean, kind of like we talked about on the way over here. Wasn't a pretty game. We didn't execute the way we, really needed to. But you have so many games, it's going to happen. And in those situations, you just got to figure out a way to win. You're not, like I said, playing the way you want to, playing up to your standards as a group. You just have to find a way to win, and we did that.
What was the kind of the emotion that you had or thought process you had seeing D'Angelo with a chance to win it in his return get back here?
Man, it looked good. Not good for us, but the ball looked good in the air. It wouldn't have been in that position if I didn't miss about 4 shots in a row. But, yeah, I've seen him make that shot a million times. Max played good defense, but, good defense can only, take you so far sometimes. And like I said, I've seen him make that shot. And fortunately, it didn't go in, so thank you. But, yeah, he played a hell of a game. Yeah.
You had your career high 38 points, but you'd already gotten your 38, got the ball in transition, you were running through, and you passed up the opportunity to get 40 to throw the lob back to LeBron for the dunk. Do you feel like that's emblematic of your game in some way? I feel like a lot of players would maybe take that opportunity to get those extra 2 points.
I had opportunities after that to get 40. I just didn't make them. But I'm not worried about the points. I'm worried about winning. I would say 95% of the time, if there's a situation like that, I'm going to throw the ball up to him. I've seen my whole life him catching lobs, him dunking. So to be the one throwing him the ball is still cool to me, especially at his age. Not saying he's old, but he's getting up there and he can still, jump way better than, most people ever can. So I don't really think it was a great pass, but to him, he don't miss many lobs.
Hey, Austin, the big picture, where do you think you've made your biggest strides so far through the different twists and turns of the season?
I think it's really just staying the course and figuring out ways to help us be a better team. Like you said, there's so many ups and downs in this league. The scrutiny's high being a Laker. So the more you can, just stay, connected to the group and connected with each other, is the most important thing for me. And to be honest, like I spoke to Dan this morning about, D'Lo really helped me with that when he got here, with him being through that, being drafted here, being a young player. He's seen everything that, I had been through or I was going through. So when he got here, he really taught me how to, not that the noise was affecting me, but to really just push that aside and worry about, the betterment of the team, how I can continue to grow and be better. So I feel like that's the main thing, is just really, continuing to grow as a leader, Yeah.
Yeah, there were a couple of guys that talked about, your leadership skills and how you've grown and evolved. What do you think, where did you dig deep into to get from, the slump that you were having to career high?
I just stayed the course. Basketball is basketball and golf are my safe place. I really enjoy both of those, but sometimes, when you aren't playing well, you can think about the things that you could be doing better or that's with everything in life. And instead, just continuing to do what you were doing and just trusting the process of the work that I put in. And nothing's changed since I've been in the league. I'm in the gym, I'm getting extra shots. So I rely on that instead of, letting that affect me. A couple of bad games, everybody has them. It's just, like I said, it's what can I do in those games to even help us be successful. And to have a night like tonight, feels good, but the win, that's all that matters.
Austin, kind of a two-part question. One, I assume this will be your first look at Intuit Dome. Your whole career, when you've played the Clippers, you've used your same locker room, you've come to this office. What do you think it'll be like in terms of the rivalry for them to have their own space? And I guess secondly, they're going to throw, I'm sure, size, athleticism, toughness. That's kind of what they do. What kind of game are you expecting from them defensively?
The first question. And I've heard that place is sick. I heard it's really cool. I obviously haven't been yet. I don't know. That's a great question. I haven't really thought about it. I think that Bron asked after the game, what the situation on us arriving is, and I think that they got all that figured out. So I'll just have to ask somebody. But I think it'll be fun. Them getting their own space. And as far as how they play, they're a very physical defensive team that plays super hard. And then you got James Harden on the other side that is the engine of their offense. Norman Powell's honestly playing at all-star level, shooting the ball very well, I think he's averaging 24. So they're a really good team. We just had to go in there prepared. I think it was last year, maybe the year before, where I think the first time I got blitzed in the league was against the Clippers, and I came off the first ball screen and they blitzed me, and I was like, what the? I ain't never been blitzed in the league, so kind of threw me off. But I've seen a little bit of everything since then, so I'm just excited for the opportunity to go compete.
Last game after Miami, you talked about kind of your role, just creating for others. You had 14 assists. Obviously, at the end of December, you had a game with 16 assists. Tonight you have 38, career high. Can you talk about, from your perspective, when you're out there on the floor, just the ebbs and flows of kind of your role kind of shifting that tonight from having to score more versus create for others out there?
Yeah, I think one of my gifts is being able to fill out the game through the process of the game, and whatever that might be, to do that on that night. The other night against Miami, like you said, 14 assists. Rui had it going, Bron had it going, 80 always has it going, Max was shooting well, so Gabe played well. Everybody was, playing well, and, my thought process was getting them open looks. And then tonight, in the flow of the game, you kind of, or at least for me, you kind of feel what the game needs. And there in that fourth quarter, JJ wasn't happy on the sideline, as I'm sure y'all could guess, because we weren't playing well, so it was warranted. So, me and Bron had a conversation at the center court, just figure out a way to win the game. We know it hasn't been pretty. We know we've made a lot of mistakes, but a win in the win column doesn't matter if it's 1 or 60. It's a win, and that's all that matters. So for me tonight, it was scoring and getting us there. But Like I said, I feel like that's one of my strengths is being able to read the game throughout the whole game.
Austin, Coach talked about process versus results, and you guys just living with certain results despite adversity. So what do you make of you guys having staying connected during adversity?
What are we doing to stay connected?
Yeah,
Is that what you're asking?
like what do you make of you guys staying connected through adversity?
Yeah, I think that's what creates really good teams is going through those down moments in the season and figuring out a way to claw your way back to surface and get wins. There's honestly there's probably for every team in the NBA almost there's a lot of situations in the league where you feel like you're not going to get out of it. But like I said, that's when you got to be connected the most and trust what the coaches are saying. Regardless of if people are making shots, if people are missing shots, you got to stay the course of making the right play, because at the end of the day, if you make the right play and you don't make the shot, you can live with those situations. It's when you don't make the right play, things can get frustrating. So it's all about playing the game the right way, making the extra pass, and I feel like we did a little bit of that tonight. We just didn't make shots, and that's obviously frustrating. And it's honestly not hard to go the other direction, but I feel like that's when you can tell a team's gelled, is when you continue to try to get through those situations, and just knowing when you do get through them that the grass is greener on the other side.
Thanks, Austin.
Thank you.
And then all of a sudden, there you are, out playing.
Yeah, man. I got here yesterday around 12:45. Went straight to the doctor, did physicals. I met the guys this morning, actually. So I'm fresh out here in LA, man. So very excited, extremely blessed, man, just to be a Laker, man, be in the organization.
What was it like on the court? What stood out to you?
Just how amazing, like, the team is connected. We're struggling right now, but we figured it out. But those guys have a connection that's going to work out.
It was about a half hour before tip-off when we found out that Anthony Davis is a scratch.
Yeah.
How did you find out, and what was it like to play a healthy amount of minutes your first time out?
I found out, 5 minutes before I went out there. But it's basketball, man. It's a blessing, Get my feet wet, get it out your way. First game jitters, over with now, it's time to work.
This morning you talked about, being in the building, being around the guys and seeing the numbers, and you're witnessing your new teammates, Austin, LeBron, offensively. Just what did you make of their performances, and just what did it feel like to be a part of the team during those moments where they're just, getting their buckets the way they did?
Man, they played phenomenal. Austin with 38 and LeBron with 29. It's kind of crazy just to see how, like, natural it is for them. They're elite scorers, elite basketball players, and I enjoyed watching it, and it was huge.
Okay, I got you. So, like, is it a surreal moment that when you're walking out? Can you kind of just describe just the 24 hours, 48 hours of just kind of the transition?
Yeah, I was in my mom's house probably a little over 48 hours ago. Packing my bags like, dang, I'm going to LA, and just in shock. Like, dang, what should I pack? What should I, how many shoes should I bring? Just thinking, man, so excited. And when I got out there, I was just like amazed. The fans, the cheering, the coaches, I was like, man, I'm really blessed to be in this opportunity. So.
Trey, 4 rebounds in about 14 minutes. This is a team that, could use a little additional help, I guess, on the glass. Just how does that part of your game kind of translate, right away to this group here?
Yeah, man. 4 is low-key a bad number. I should have got at least 6 or 7. I missed a few out there. But I'm not going to lie, man. My goal out here is just to be physical, do all the hard stuff and let the other guys do the easy stuff, man. Let them score the ball. I'll go set screens. I'll rebound the ball. I got to be better than I was tonight.
I think it was Williams that was really picking up Austin 94 feet almost for the whole game. That you set the screen on him, kind of laid him out. Could you take us through that play, and had you kind of noticed the pressure they were putting on Austin?
Yeah, so Austin was hot at that point. The goal is pretty much is not in a bad way, but to let them know, hey, I'm behind you, so it gives the guards fear. So they have to back up some, give Austin space. So I cracked them pretty well, but part of my job.
T, I feel like in this new era, we started hearing more stories about the transfer portal. At Clemson, you play 8 minutes, transfer to UAB, and now look at your journey, and you're playing for the Lakers. First team you played with was Birmingham too, which is your hometown, but now to be all the way here for the Lakers, how can you speak to doing that and not giving up on the process and now getting to a spot that you are now?
What's crazy, I did give up on the process. I was going to quit basketball, give it up, but I kept my faith in God. I had a long prayer one night, and God put on my heart that, like, hey, you're 6'10", 250. And, like, I didn't make it that way for no reason, you know. My mom is 6 foot, my dad's 6'4", so I should have been like 6'6". But to be 6'10" at this size, God was like, go use it. So one night I just kept working and said, hey, it's going to work out sooner or later, and now I'm in L.A.
Thank you.
Thank y'all. Have a blessed night.
And that's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, it wasn't a pretty win, but like Austin Reeves said, a win is a win in the win column. It doesn't have to be by 60. It can be just by 1. That's all that matters. So next Sunday, we hope that the Lakers will be able to get a win with crosstown rivals, the Clippers. Their first time at the Intuit Dome. The Clippers are playing great basketball right now and actually hold the top spot in the division. So it's going to be a great matchup. Signing off, I'm your host, Tammy Pettigrew. I'll see you next time.